Previously on Irae.
きねえよ。お前に手なんかあげられない。
追いかけて抱きしめて慰めてあげないと男が廃るってものじゃないの。
お前にこれ以上そんなことをしてほしくないんだよ。力にならずっと前からなってるよ。お前が分かってないだけで俺ずいぶん救われてる。帰ってくるから。
Tonight, I had obtained power and stepped out of the sunlight and into the shadow.
レオンハルトの報告次第になりますが、場合によっては間を置かず次のスワスチカを起こすことになるやもしれません。となれば誰を捧げるのが望ましいか。
I wouldn't let her go through anything as terrifying, as dangerous as that ever again. She wouldn't have to worry about a thing.
あとは俺が利用したければ利用してみろ。こっちもそうするつもりだからな。
Episode 16, Zurückhaltung. Welcome back to Irae. The place was a dark room. No, a dark space. It was not completely devoid of light, but what remained amounted to very little indeed. Yet it wasn't like it stood out as though trying to assert the reason for its existence either. To put it more aptly, it yielded before the sheer power of the darkness contained within this space. The darkness lingering here would succumb to no flame and would remain deep and thick even in the face of 1,000 candles. No mere shadows blanketed the room. The very space itself was dark. The place simply somehow came to possess that property, reflecting the souls of those who would gather here. It was a vast space shaped like a mortar, akin to a coliseum. Spots of unrefinement aside, the structure did have a sense of splendor to it, resembling a spacious hall within a massive castle. Huh. In its center rested a circular table, jet black in hue and glimmering with luster. It housed 13 seats, followed by 13 hallways leading to each. In other words, this place was built for a mere 13 people. 13. A number of ill omens. Judas Iscariot, death in the Major Arcana, Friday the 13th. People commonly said that Witch's Sabbath was conducted by 13 people, for it was the most suitable number for preparing a place's spiritual environment. This very same number referred to unity and love with the gematria. Sorry. I get tripped up sometimes. Love and unity that, no doubt, were alien to the situation at hand. After all, those kinds of affections were things oft manipulated by subjectivity. One could count several vacancies among the seats of the round table. Out of 13, only 8 have been filled. We're missing 5 people. The seats in question were numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, and 11. The masters of the 8 had gathered with heavy silence dominating the other 5. Number 13, in particular, exuded no presence to the felt whatsoever. Under normal circumstances, if the master or user in question was either alive or had left some sort of lingering attachment behind, a vestige of their presence, or a fragment of their will, would be felt. In this situation, however, it was as though its master was either dead or had simply never had strong feelings for the place they belonged to. However, that concerned none of those present.
感じる。感じる。
感じるな。
Oh, we know what that is. The three muttered among themselves in tones of joy, gloominess, and displeasure. The red-haired girl on the seat of act was the first to speak up.
痛い。脇腹がうずくように気持ちいい。
ああ、まったく懐かしいじゃねえかよ、この感じ。お前は初めての経験だろうが、どう思う？
ウェレフィリウスティエライステ。これが清掃のステグマなら光栄だが、彼らは
7, 9, and 12. Turning toward the 3 empty seats, Kay threw each of them a glance.
私は団の上位にいる方々と面識がない。狩猟副狩猟閣下のことはすでに十分聞き及んでいるが、幹部お三方については知識不足だ。 今後対面した時に恥をかかないようよければ教えてほしいのだが。
In response,
ウルフガンク・シュライバー
Rusalka gleefully uttered one name.
エレオノーレ・フォン・ビッテンブルグ。
Wilhelm casually spat out another.
Getz von Berlichingen.
Finally, Valeria Trifa, who is also Christoph, as I've been told. I get these names confused a lot. I'm sorry. Probably added a third. Perhaps calling their names held some sort of spiritual significance in this place, for all three seats lit up ever so dimly the moment they were uttered. They glowed in white, red, and black, the three colors that symbolize the Hakenrus.
清掃13騎士団最強の戦士であり、ハイドリヒ教の直属でもある3人の大隊長。言うまでもなく恐ろしい方々ですが、どなたも礼を強要する人格ではありません。そうかしこまる必要はないですよ。
そうね。特にシュライバーは礼なんて概念自体知らない。
Now I know Schreiber's the kid from the very first part.
マキナにしろザミエルにしろ、新参者の小娘一人、今さら眼中にも入れやしねえよ。それでも注意することがあるとすれば一つだけ。
ハイドリヒ教に絶対の忠誠を。我々のスティグマは清掃に貫かれた証であり、服従の印です。大隊長殿らはその誓いを我々の数倍強く受けている。故に破る者を許さない。
Interesting.
とはいえレオンハルト、この場であなたにそのような心構えを解くのもまた今更な話だ。スティグマがうずく、血を流す。これはすなわちハイドリヒ教がご帰還なされるという前兆であり、スワスチカが機能しだしたという証です。となれば皆さん、これより我々がなすべきことをいかように考えていらっしゃるか。この場。
当然。
Wilhelm let out a snort, as if he found it offensive that Trifa would ask such an obvious question.
条件が整ったなら速攻で発動させる。俺らで片っ端から陣を起こしていけばいい。
Why am I not surprised to hear an answer like that out of him?
そしてベルリンの再現ですか。あなたは血の気が多くていけない。欲求不満が溜まっているのはわかりますがね、ことはそう単純ではありませんよ。副首領閣下の術について我々は知らぬことが多すぎる。もし仮に先走ってスワスチカの一角でも発動不能にしてみなさい。全てが水泡に帰してしまう。
おい、ならクリストフ、てめえが予言でもしてくれるのかよ。
さて、私に神の声が聞けるとは思えませんがね。あなたでもそのような信仰を持っているのですか、米中尉。
堕落司祭が抜かしやがる。おとぼけはいらねえ。たるいこと言ってんじゃねえよ。てめえはなんだ。俺らを抑え
Think Wilhelm's gonna have enough of Kristoff's shit and just like kill him? Wilhelm does seems like he could just pretty much kill whoever he wants.
タクラムとはまた人聞きの悪い。私はただスワスチカを完成させる順序を見極めようとしているだけですよ。
順序。レオン、この手の問題はね、アルスマグナになればなるほど融通が利かないものなのよ。手順、法則、公式、条件、魔導も科学も思想も政治も、高度なものほど厳格な決まりなしには回らない。まるでお役所仕事みたいな感じで面倒なのよ、基本的に。どこから一体どのようにどれくらいの規模で進めていくのが正解なのか、まずはそれを見極めないとね。まあ私だって実際のとこ気持ち穏やかじゃないんだよね。 ここ最近誰かさんの命令で半端ばっかり踏まされてさ。
つまらん理屈屋の論理に付き合ってもう60年待たされちゃたまんねえぞ。おいクリストフ、考えてもみろ。思い出せ。メルクリウスの術に穴はねえ。いまいましいが野郎は正真正銘の化け物だったろ。
Sounds like a guy you don't want to meet in a dark alley, that's for damn sure. The darkness in the space began to sway. Each of those currently present had their own ideas in mind regarding those words. For Wilhelm just uttered something nearing the realm of taboo.
手順？法則？ああ、それは確かにあるだろうぜ。だが俺らの行動がそいつを壊すって確証は。いや、てめえ、壊せるとでも思ってるのか？
Is he having doubts about the whole thing? In other words,
我々の一挙一動例外なく副首領閣下の手のひらの上であると驚きましたね、米中尉。あなたの口からまさかそのような言葉が聞けるとは。
っていうかあなた、適当な理屈つけて暴れちゃいたいだけじゃないの？
you think this guy needs an excuse to go on a rampage?
否定はしねえよ。だがな、
これ以上後手に回るつもりもない。誤差は攻めながら修正すればよいとおっしゃる。困りましたね。
Who's gonna stop him? Who's gonna stop these monsters from just attacking? No one can stand up to these guys. So what does it matter? Like they could just kill like everything they need right now. It wouldn't matter. They could destroy the city in a blink of an eye. Wouldn't matter. No one could stop him. Despite his words, Trypha's lips slithered into a broad smile. The priest may have been thinking the very same thing, surprisingly enough. Well, perhaps they all did.
我々ごときが占領したところでことはなるようにしかならず、決まっているものは揺るがない。
I mean, I get they want to revive Lord
小
Hydra.
賢しい議論などやめ、ただの暴力装置として意義を発揮すればよいと。
Maybe that's why they're playing the slow game? Probably.
なるほど。いかにもあなたらしく暴論ながら的を射ている。とはいえまだ残念ながらホロコーストを承認するわけにはいきませんよ。
Can't have another one of those, that's for damn sure.
なぜだ？
ごくごく個人的な事情ですが、その前に知っておきたいことがありましてね。いわゆる鬼の犬間にというやつです。
鬼？あらちょっとクリストフ、今のセリフは不敬なんじゃないかしら？
罰はハイドリ秘境がご帰還なされた後に慎んで受けますよ。
You compared me to a cat?
ともかくこれは
Blasphemy.
あなた方のためでもある。わがままと取られても仕方ありませんが、願わくば今しばらくの生還を。
まあ分かったわよ。あと一度だけあなたの顔を立ててあげる。
現在の最高指揮権があなたにある以上、私も従うまでですが。
結構。それで米中尉は？
いいだろう。
I feel Willem isn't gonna put up with this crap any longer. He's getting antsy. It's been 60 years. He wants revenge. He's not gonna wait another day. Grinding his teeth, Wilhelm gave a nod.
あんたのことだ。どうせえげつねえこと考えてるんだろうがよ。俺も長くは待てねえぞ。
もちろん数日中に結論が出るはずです。彼も到着したことですしね。
Trypha directed his gaze at the seat of 10. In it sat a feverishly thin, spider-like man with abnormally long limbs. It felt strange, thoroughly peculiar. After all, the other men and women gathered in his place were of exceptional looks. Did they not pride themselves on their excellence, being unmatched in bronze and brain and beauty alike as the elected handful, the chosen few? After having invited all the gazes of those present, the peculiar-looking man rose from his seat with a sinister smile on his lips.
久しぶりの再会早々恐縮ですが、生産杯芸家のご意向を尊重するため、しばらくの間私の指示に従っていただきたい。
Oh, he's taking charge? Wow. This guy's got the same rank as Wilhelm.
ついてはレオンハルト。あなたに少々協力してほしいことがありましてね。
私に？
ええ、あなたにしかできません。
Guy's got a smile. Not creepy. Oh man.
ベイもマレウスもバビロンも残念ながら役者不足。カインは初めから論外ですし、増年金とは未だ協力的とは言えません。あなただからお願いする。美しくなられたお嬢さん、返答はいかに？
After throwing a glance rife with suspicion at Shrifa, Kay spoke up.
いいだろう。私にできることなら協力する。
結構決まりましたね。ではそのように。
You have really long arms. Like really long arms. The divine vessel's mouth curled into a confident smile. None of the others vetoed the decision. But the priest's smile rekindled memories of dread and engraved deep into the souls of all present. Save for Kay, of course. The memory of the destructive and absolute smile that belonged to the aberration they knew as the Golden Beast. Ooh. Chapter 4, Odessa. How many people could place complete and absolute faith in their own ability of self-restraint? Probably not many.
最近はもう綾瀬さんの稽古に付き合ったりしないんだね。
As I entered the rooftop, which had become my staple place of escape, I was addressed to by a voice that had also become somewhat a staple of the place. Sandwich girl.
綾瀬さんと話してる。そういう状況見ないんだけど。
Eating a one-handed sandwich with both hands. She was a rebel like that.
別に喧嘩してるわけじゃないんだよね。
Sorry I don't talk much during the scenes with like all the people talking. I don't want to like ruin the mood by cracking a joke or something. You know, that seems very uncouth. Because you know, these games I play, sometimes it's about more about what you don't say than what you do say.
どうなの、藤井君。
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you talking to me?
別に。
I gave a half-assed answer and leaned against the fence. I wasn't gonna do something like sit next to her on the bench. Never again.
喧嘩なんかしてないですよ。ただ。
何？
ちょっと一人になりたいんで。
それはつまり、私もどっか行けっていうことかな。
ええ。
ショック。
She may have said that, but her face was expressionless as always. By the way, we'd had this kind of conversation every time over the past few days.
私は君を構ってるわけじゃなくて、ただこの場所が好きっていうだけなんだけどね。
The most adorable statue ever.
置物だと思ってくれればそれでいいのに。君はここ以外で一人になれそうな場所を知らないの？
Huh.
ええ。
困ったね。
そうですね。
Yeah. And as we repeated this pointless conversation, all the while avoiding eye contact, the long-awaited bell rang.
お昼休みおしまい。
So it is. It was annoying when I got dragged into her flow, but at times like this, I felt grateful for it. After all, she didn't try to get in the way of my skipping classes. That was the clear difference between her and Kasumi. Kasumi, oh my god, I'd never heard the end of it. But her, she didn't care, you know? She let the river flow as it may. She didn't try to dam it up. That said, now I could finally take a breather. Just as I heaved a mental sigh of relief, however.
じゃあ、バイバイ。
Oh.
私行くから。
Oh, okay.
あと藤井君。
Oh.
もし寒かったらだけど。
Oh my.
あ、すみま
Did
せ
she
ん。
try to hug us? We just pushed her off?
急に寄ってこられたからびっくりしたっていう
Oh
か。
man, Ran, come on.
ショック。
Have some manners. Look at that. Look at those eyes. You have destroyed her world.
藤井君なんか嫌いだ。
Oh my gosh, she hates us. And with that, Himuro left the roof. Son of a bitch.
くっそ。
I ended up sitting down where I stood. I felt a mixture of guilt and self-loathing well up in me at once, but I was in no position to go after her and try to ease things up. It had only been 3 days since I put an end to the serial killings. There wouldn't be any more murders. I wouldn't let there be any more. I swore that I'd keep the people around me from getting involved with all of this. Especially Kasumi. Since she had no memories of those days, she could continue to lead a normal, peaceful life, as long as I kept quiet. Sakurai and Rusalka seemed to no longer have any interest in her either. But the possibility of her getting involved again would rise substantially with every minute she spent with me. Still, the bigger problem was... My neck ached like this from time to time. I felt a coiling discomfort, like something tickling me from the inside of my skull through my cervical vertebrae. And I couldn't for the life of me shake it off. Furthermore, I'd be getting waves of violent urges billowing within me each time it happened. Just a minute ago, I couldn't take my eyes off the nape of Himuro's neck. This was trouble. As in, seriously dangerous. That was the reason I'd avoided interacting with others, including Kasumi. I had no idea what would happen if I let my guard down for even a second. So my best course of action would probably include running away from home and laying low in parts unknown. I was actually tempted to do just that, but changed my mind before I could act on it. Judging from what Rusalka said the other day, those guys had business with the school itself. Considering she'd been skipping the school ever since, with only Sakurai showing up, I figured she might have been full of shit. But I was still really worried, you know? If those psychos did something in this school while I wasn't around to do anything about it, I was sure I would regret it for the rest of my life. The fact remained that I was putting this place in more danger just by being here. On the other hand, I wasn't sure if I could live with myself in case something happened while I was away. So, was I supposed to stay or leave? It all came down to that ultimate choice. And in the end, I chose the former. Though I honestly wasn't confident that an answer produced from my cornered mindset could be the correct one.
抑え込むのにここくらい適した場所もないしな。
The fact I could picture the worst case scenario here with the utmost sense of reality made it the most likely place where I would retain my sanity, despite the situation. And that was the second reason why I'd go to school instead of hiding. In all honesty, I felt terrible about exposing all these students to such danger with this reckless gamble of mine, but unless I did something, My phone? Who could be calling me? Kasumi? Probably Kasumi. Text. A text? A certain conviction and anxiety welled up inside me. I reflexively took out my phone and opened it. Sure enough. Stay on the roof until school ends. I'll see you then. Sakurai! To be honest, this was the turn of events I've been waiting for. Something's happening. Okay. Sakurai seems to be the most level-headed of the group. You know, she's the one we can talk to. Probably. Muttering that, I did my best to stop myself from shivering. In my current state, I felt confident I could. Sakurai arrived shortly before sunset.
お待たせ。
I decided not to ask the obvious questions of how she knew my phone's address or that I was on the roof. Asking someone as normal as her would have been pointless. The light of dusk on the rooftop reminded me of the sunset in that dream. The place now looked just how it did when Shiro and I had that fight. Jesus, talk about an ominous place and time. Nothing that could happen here would surprise me at this point.
こうして話をするのはあの夜以来になるけれど、調子はどう？
Oh, so you care about my feelings now.
なんて愚問か。辛そうね。
Sakurai spoke in a very businesslike tone, her voice exhibiting little to no emotion. Yet even that voice of hers made me antsy. It felt akin to the kind of suffocating craving. I wish I could slice her head off right here and now. You know, that sort of impulse. And I was brutally confident that I could very well do it. I had to calm myself. It was not yet time for that.
わかるのか？
ええ、私もそれは経験したから。
What?
正直、少し驚いてる。ずいぶん我慢してるみたいだけど、よくないわよ、そういうの。
何が？
ずっと2のままだから。言ったと思うけど、足し算続けていかないと強くなんかならないわよ。そのままで勝てるなんて思わない方がいい。
She cuts right through us like a knife. Not yet. I need to restrain myself. I still had a ton of things to ask her. After inhaling a deep, shaky breath, I spoke up.
勝てると思うなって。お前たちにか。
Dude, we can't beat them. Don't even try.
違う。それによ。
It?
ねえ藤井君、少し落ち着いてくれないかしら。それがどれだけ難しいかは理解してるつもりだけど、
I didn't think
今
you
のとこ
did.
ろあなたに対して敵意はないから。
You're like the plot girl. Some story needs to happen, you come along and explain things.
信じられない？何も言わないなら都合のいいように解釈するわよ。あなた、私に聞きたいことがあるでしょ。マレウスよりは親切だって自信もある。彼女と違って日本人だし、年も同じはずだからね。共感できる部分ももしかしたらあるかもしれないし。
Sympathy? I don't want your sympathy, lady.
年？
そう。彼女はああ見えて私たちの15倍近く生きているから。嘘じゃない。
Damn, that's old.
バカな。
I can neither laugh nor get angry with that. She claimed to be a witch after all. I mean, now that I thought about it, she did say something along those lines, didn't she? Pretty sure she did.
どうやら少しだけ落ち着いてくれたようね。それでまず私の方から聞いておきたいこと。
Are you serious?
あなたは今私たちを敵視してる？
How do I not see you as enemies?
今の俺が友好的に見えるのか？
Tell him, Ren.
見えないわね。
That smug look she's got. Let out a mocking chuckle.
でも私が聞いてるのはそういうことじゃない。あなたの誠意の形を聞きたい。防衛なのか公正なのか、つまり買う気なのか売る気なのか。
それは。
Honestly, that sounded like a real difficult question. But I had no intention of leaving them alone, nor did I expect them to do the same with me. In fact, on that night...
お前ら、戦争をしに来たって言っただろう。
Right, she did say that.
ええ。そして開戦はまだ伸びるかもしれないとも。こちらの事情はそんな感じよ。というか、あなたがそんなざまだから、伸びてると言った方がいいのかしらね。まあ、それは後で説明するとして、まずこちらの質問に答えてよ。買う気なのか、売る気なのか。
I'd say we're probably defensive.
多分、あなたはこう考えてる。俺とかすみがお前らのせいでこうなったのなら、違うかしら。
違わない。
そう。でもね藤井君、私たちが来ても来なくてもあなたはそうなっていたはずよ。いえ、あなたがそうなると分かっていたから私たちが来たと言うべきかしら。
Okay. So what?
お前たちがあらかじめ仕組んでたってことだろう。
Sakurai took my glare head on, then followed up with a nod.
ええ、それが何？
なんだと？
The sheer bluntness of her attitude made my mind boil. So it really was their fault at Kasumi. Did I?
落ち着きなさいよ。肥大化した光線性とそれに伴う理性の摩耗。典型的ね。あなたこのままだと狂うわよ。
うるせえ。
I couldn't hold back. She was an enemy. Hell, I had doubt she was even human. In that case, it'd be fine, right? I could just do it. There was no one else around, and it'd be one-on-one. I could take her, cut her head off. Even if her right here, right now, I could probably cover up the truth. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I...
つまり売る気ね。
Right now I am. A moment later, my back slammed into the wall, accompanied by a shock strong enough to take my breath away and make my ears ring.
なら買ってあげてもいいんだけど。でもその前にもう少しだけお話ししましょう。
Really close. Really close. Once I opened my eyes, I saw Sakurai's face, just a few centimeters away from mine. She hung over me and practically pinned me to the wall, robbing me of my freedom. From this distance, I could see how surprisingly slender her body was. I felt her heartbeat through our overlapping chests. I sensed a nigh indescribable chill rush up my spine. A frozen rhythm, like still cold water. An abnormality that even someone like me without medical knowledge, or rather, that was precisely the reason why I could instinctively tell. This was not the heartbeat of a normal human. No way in hell.
離れろ。
Yeah, you get off right now.
どうして？
気持ち悪いんだよ。
失礼ね。
I couldn't move. The part of me that initiated my motions was being effectively pinned down, especially my right hand, which was being pushed to the wall by Kay's left. The force she pushed with left cracks running through the wall. No woman, or rather no regular human, could exhibit such strength. More importantly, though,
痛くないでしょ？
that was the real enigma here. My arm was being driven into a concrete wall, yet I barely felt any pain. Why in the world?
麻痺しているわけじゃないわよ。今のあなたのこれが正常な感覚。
So I'm like you? Like you guys?
これくらいじゃ痛いなんて思えない。
In other words, pain was essentially a signal sent to inform you that your body was in danger. There were two primary reasons I could think of why I was not feeling anything, and Sakurai denied the first one, so...
蚊に刺されて痛がる人はいないでしょ。そういうことよ、藤井君。私たちはね、とても鈍感になっていく。痛みに縁遠くなればなるほど、他人の痛みもわからなくなる。
You know, it's funny here, I was scared as shit of Wilhelm and to a lesser extent Rusalka, but seems like Kay might be the most dangerous one of all.
だからあなたの気持ちとか、私よくわからないの。そのことを前提にして聞かせてもらうわ。ここで本当に私とやる気？あまり思い上がらないでほしいわね。あなたはまだ私たちに及ばない。ああ、それともあれかしら。前にマレウスが言っていたけど。
Unshakable conviction. The prior knowledge of a certain thing. The belief that I was not meant to die here.
違う。
I didn't blindly believe in something like that.
そう。だったらアドバイスをしてあげるわ。言ったでしょ。あなた このままだと狂うって。
The scar on my neck ached the moment I heard her whisper into my ear. Her voice sultry, almost seductive. I felt an urge to kill and devour, to cut off her head, to end her, right here now. Even I could tell that my eyes were starting to fill up with the urge to kill. But Sakurai didn't even seem slightly fazed by it.
殺し役を奪ったのに殺さないなんて矛盾してるわ。ストレス溜まって我慢できなくなってるんでしょう。
Oh, expect more words, okay.
わかるわ、それ。私たちみんなが通ってきた道だもの。
See, that's the thing. If we build up enough stress where we're not killing people and then we get the urge to kill somebody, then... You know, I mean, yeah, I don't want anybody to die, but... We could go after our friends and loved ones. That'd be horrible. I mean, any death is horrible, sure, but... You know, when you actually know the person... It's just that much more significant in your mind, right? Sakurai knew the true nature of these destructive impulses welling up in me. She must have gone through them too.
経験したってさっき言ったな。
ええ、今から11年前に。
その時お前は
子供だったし、我慢なんかできなかったわよ。もっとも、それでよかったと今は思う。これはね、藤井君。
Sakurai looked deep into my eyes and spoke as if she was whispering to something she saw within them.
あなたの何十倍も歴史を重ねて、何百何千も殺してきた人食いなの。20年そこらの人生やモラルで対抗できる相手じゃない。私たちの中でも初めからこれを御せた人はゼロだって聞いているし、実際あなたがどれだけ我慢強いのかは知らないけど。
Pity and self-derision mingled in Sakurai's tone as she continued. But it all lasted but a second, as Sakurai shifted back to her prior seductive tone.
無理しないで。溜まってるなら吐き出しなさいよ。私が教えてあげるから。
お前が？
綾瀬さんや氷室先輩じゃ無理でしょ。こんなことしてあげられるの私以外に誰がいるのよ。日本人だし、同い年だし、それにあなた好みだしね。
Nope.
大丈夫よ。優しくしてあげるから。
As she uttered that, the grip on Sakurai's held my right hand and grew stronger. It crushed my flesh and made my bones creak. Maybe it had already broken a while back. But the pain was faint. In fact, it rather felt comfortable for some inexplicable reason. A bizarre itchiness ran through my spine, almost like a sign that I would soon shed my skin.
私と戦いたいならその後で。まずは同じ土俵に立ってから。ねえ、どうするの？
俺は。
I will. Oh, what are we gonna do? What are we going to do? What do you think we should do? You know, I don't know. I think we have to do it. You know, I think we have to go through with it. I mean, we're changing. There's no doubt about that. We're becoming like these people. Inhuman monsters. But I guess we should just start embracing ourselves and rejecting them. We're not going to win any fights that way.
わかった。